One of the biggest pieces, listen, last couple of months, we've had some huge pieces of movie news. One of the bigger ones was the return of the king, baby. Big Papa Iger coming back to fix what has become a dumpster fire of a Disney company. But Big Papa Iger's come back, going to try to right that ship, get things back on course, make things right again. Well, Bob Iger came back. Now, there's a number of things we're going to be talking about that today that revolve around the Investor Days call and all the information that Bob Iger dropped. And we're going to talk about them in certain pieces. But one of the pieces that I think is really one of the more interesting ones is the fact that Bob Iger addressed Hulu. There's been a lot of speculation lately about what is Disney going to do about Hulu. There's been some talk lately that Disney might be in the selling Hulu business. They might be what one of the popular trains of thought was that Comcast still owns, I think, 1/3 of Hulu. And the general thought that a lot of people had was that, well, he may sell it or they're going to acquire the remaining shares of Hulu away from Comcast and be the sole owner of Hulu, all that kind of stuff. Well, in that call that he had yesterday, Bob Iger said that, yeah, he's open to selling Hulu. In Deadline, it writes this: asked on CNBC about his plans for Hulu as a 2024 deadline to buy it or sell it off approaches, because they're in the deal with Comcast. There is one of them's got to buy out the other come 2024. And I think the first right to buy is Disney's. After that, it's Comcast. So Disney gets first call, but something's got to happen. So asked by CNBC about his plans for Hulu as a 2024 deadline to buy it in or sell it off approaches, he said, everything is on the table right now. So I'm not going to speculate about whether we are a buyer or a seller of it. But I obviously have suggested that I'm concerned about undifferentiated general entertainment, particularly in the competitive landscape that we are operating in. And we are going to look at it very objectively and expansively. When pressed by host David Faber on whether he'd be interested if Comcast CEO Brian Roberts inquired about buying the Disney stake, Iger said, we'd be open-minded. So this brings up a couple of interesting angles on this. Because on the one hand, you might think, well, why on earth would they not want to have Hulu? I've said myself on the show, like, Hulu presents them a really perfect opportunity to have Disney Plus and have Disney Plus be not kid-centric, but family-friendly. You can have some harder stuff on there, sure, but generally family-friendly, and you can keep Disney Plus that, where, as a company, you can still delve into the harder, more adult stuff by having it on Hulu, and you can do that. The other train of thought here, and I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, the other train of thought here is this. Disney has just recently greenlit and signed extensions to several Fox-produced series that are, of course, signed to Hulu. Well, that is an internal deal because Disney owns Hulu. But if you're Bob Iger and you sign long-term extension deals between these Fox-produced shows and Hulu, and then you sell Hulu off to Comcast, well, guess what goes over with them? Those legal deals. And now all of a sudden, Comcast owns Hulu, but they're paying huge money in licensing fees for these long-term deals of these Fox shows that they produce. So now all of a sudden, Hulu becomes a cash-generating entity that they don't own, which is quite intriguing, actually, when you look at it that way. Look, at the end of the day, what I think is going to happen here, I think they're going to hold on to Hulu. I still, at the end of the day, think they do. I just think the ability, because, Bob Iger, that family-friendly, not family-focused, but family-friendly identity of Disney Plus, to Bob Iger has always seemed sacrosanct. It has always seemed like it's an absolute to him. Having Hulu in the stable gives you the opportunity to have the best of both worlds. Now, again, I just laid out why there could be a very valid argument for selling it off, not to mention the money that would come from selling it off, because they're valuing Hulu. Ray, you want to take a guess what they're valuing Hulu at right now?
No, I'm not doing that. I have no idea. Probably what? 1 billion.
All right, you're in the billions. 27.5 billion.
No,
you were close.
Just Hulu. They're valuing Hulu right now at $27.5 billion.
That seems a little steep to me.
But listen, they've slowly been adding to their subscriber numbers. Like they actually have a pretty impressive subscriber number base.
Take it to the Shark Tank.
We're looking for $30 billion for 5% ownership of our product, Hulu.
Oh my God.
No one can get in that deal.
Could happen.
So yeah, I mean, look, so I could see it going either way. My impression, my guess is that they'll end up keeping it. Anyway, Rob, listen, you and I have talked about the situation Disney finds itself in with Hulu. What do you think they ultimately do with it here?
Well, I think what you posited an intriguing situation, making these shows. And I know, look at 20th Century Studios, they were making the Prey came out, for Hulu. And there's wasn't the Hellraiser movie on Hulu?
Yep.
I mean, they're doing all kinds of really interesting things with Hulu. And as an entity, I think it's become quite attractive. So maybe Comcast would like to add it to their portfolio. I could see that happening. And then Disney would actually make $27 billion plus their licensing fees. I mean,
2/3 of that, I guess. Comcast already owns some of it.
I mean, whatever it's going to be, but still, I mean, that's not a bad proposition where Disney's at right now. Does it fit into their designs? I don't really know. I don't see, John, I'd be more curious to hear what Disney's plans are moving forward. Like they just made a deal with Mill Creek to put out on physical media all these movies like Down and Out in Beverly Hills all the movies that Touchstone made and Hollywood Pictures made that like they don't want to admit that they exist, or are they going to cover Daryl Hannah's butt like they did on Splash?
They better.
They better.
I mean, it's such a weird, I don't understand that they have this legacy and it's almost like if it's not family friendly, if it's not Disney core branded, they somehow don't know what to do with it. And I think it's kind of odd, but that's above my pay grade.
Listen, I'll tell you what, I love Hulu. I love a lot of the shows they have. I love the service they have. I mean, I think I'm going to be a big Hulu fan, whether Disney owns it or Comcast, because I was a big fan of it before Disney became a majority share owner of it too. But it's going to be interesting to see what approach they decide to take with that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Bob Iger is kind of bucking what the common thought was out there, that they were just going to acquire the balance of Hulu. But now Bob Iger saying, hey, we're open to selling it. What do you guys think? How do you think this is going to shake out? Are you somebody who watches Hulu a lot? Do you subscribe to it? I know I do. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, DraftKings. Are you ready for the biggest Sunday in sports? DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl LVII, has all the Super Bowl action you need. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can get in on the Super Bowl LVII excitement with DraftKings Happy Hour Super Boosts. Check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see what prop bet will be boosted. Going into Super Bowl LVII, I think you got to look at the Philadelphia Eagles as taking home the big prize. Keep your eye on Jalen Hurts. He's going to be the difference maker in the game. So guys, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Campea. New customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl LVII and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code Campea. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.